Lisa Schnebly Heidinger is celebrating Arizona with lots of interesting people, so you'll hear wonderful voices with new stories. Grab your favorite drink and settle in. We're celebrating Arizona, going everywhere from A to Z, and we're off.
Welcome and welcome back to Celebrating Arizona. Some of you who have been here before may remember Teresa Welborn, who has been here before. And I'm so glad she's back because we barely scratched the surface last time. So it's good to see you. Thank you for coming back.
It is good to be back.
There are stories yet untold.
Oh, yes.
So let's start in Tucson. What do you do with your time that puts you in Arizona and Tucson?
Right now?
Well, not right this second, because I know what you're doing right this second.
Just in
In
general, in life right now. So
Yeah.
I love a couple of things. The morning sun is beautiful. And I like to get up early. I'm an early bird, and I like to get up and see that morning sun come up. I love to hike, and I love to ride my bike. I love to walk. So that's pretty much what there's things I have to do during the day, and then there's those things that I want to do, and I make time for that.
And all of those are outdoor.
Yes.
Well, you may be watching
right.
watching the sun from indoors, but it's hard to know.
Yes, I have windows in my kitchen that face east, and they're so beautiful. Typically how I start my day, unless it was raining like yesterday morning.
We didn't get rain yesterday morning. Good for you.
We got it. Yep.
And then when you get out, do you have to roll dice to see if you're going to ride or hike or walk, or how do you?
That dice is rolled probably the night before because I have to determine if I'm going to ride a bike. A lot of conditions have to be perfect, including wind. Because if it's too windy, I'm not going out. And because it's not fun to ride into the wind. It's fun with the wind at your back, but it isn't fun. So if the wind is calm and the weather is perfect, and I've got a big block of time, because riding takes time, that will take precedence. Hiking is a little different. It can be windy and it's not a problem. It can be different temperatures and it's not a problem. But bicycle has to be it's got to be minimum of 60 before I'll even go out. And if it's over 80, I won't.
Okay.
But
and
that's
do you
me.
have? Do you have? Well, we're talking to you. Do you have hiking temperatures, or hiking is?
Not so much. Hiking, I can pretty much. I can go down into 50. Yeah, I don't like to be too hot though either. I'd say probably up mid 80s, upper 80s. I'm done. Yeah. So the dice roll is the weather forecast.
Got it.
And what else I've got going on in the day. Because boy, when I bike, it takes a lot of prep. I got to get the bike rack on the truck and ride it out to the trailhead. And
Okay. So
there's
you can't bike from where you are.
I can. I don't. I really like riding on the loop, and where I live now, I am 5 miles to the loop. So that means I have to do 5 miles on the road. I can do it if it's really early in the morning, but I prefer not to.
Now, when you moved in there, the loop was part of the draw? Not? Tell me about the loop. Tell me your relationship with the loop.
So I've been riding probably, what year is this, 25? I think I started in 2004, riding my bike. And the loop was not what it is now. So I was riding on the road. I have a road bike. So I was riding on the road, and Tucson is one of the best cities for bike riding with designated lanes. So I felt safe for a long time on the roads. And then as the loop started getting built up more and more, I started going on the loop. And then when we moved to the Mercado downtown, there's a loop entrance right there at the Luis Gutierrez Bridge. So it was so easy to just get on the loop and go. So that's where I really, living downtown, I really just stuck to riding on the loop and no more road. So when we moved here, I'm in Midtown, I knew that I needed to have access to the loop, but it wasn't number 1 or 2 on the list.
Okay.
I knew I could put the bike on the rack and go.
And you have one favorite parking lot to start from? 2, 3, 4? How many?
Because I'm so familiar with the Santa Cruz section, I will put the bike on the car and go down to the Mercado, right where I used to live, and take that Santa Cruz north. And I also have been riding. I park at the Swan Trailhead on the south side and head east on the Rito section. That's a lot of fun.
Okay.
A lot of fun. Yeah.
So Craycroft and on.
Yep. And it goes out quite a ways. Get some miles on there.
I've never gone past Craycroft. Walking.
Walking, yeah.
Yeah.
And if I'm walking, I'm just doing my neighborhood pretty much, or I'll walk. It just depends on how much time I have.
You've walked to the Arizona Inn.
That's 12 minutes.
I just love that you get to. I mean, as you may know, I can't walk to Arizona from my house.
You could.
If I wanted to get there sometime in 10 days, maybe, but yeah.
Yeah. So I'm 30 minutes from the U of A campus, 30-minute walk.
That's terrific.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, you picked a great location.
Mm-hmm. I'm very happy. And it's close to an EG's too.
That's a thing, huh?
And Bisbee Breakfast Club. I mean, great, and Snooze. Lots of great places I can just walk.
Okay. You and I have been to Bisbee Breakfast. I've been to Snooze, but not with you. I have not been to EG's with you because I haven't been to EG's since I was in high school. But you've kept it as part of your life.
Oh, well, we need to fix that.
I don't miss it, but maybe I just haven't been with the right company.
Yeah, and March is my favorite month because they have lime EG's.
Seriously?
Mm-hmm.
So is that like their mint shake? I mean, is it a St. Patrick's thing, the green?
It's not. No, it's lime.
Okay, but do you think they do green in March for St. Patrick's?
I'm pretty sure because they don't offer it any other time of the year. And lime's probably a hard flavor to do.
I don't know. But you know what? If I'm in Tucson in March, let's do that because I've never had one.
Oh, it's. I look forward to it. March 1st. I note the date, March 1st. Here we go. Let's go get the lime cheese.
Oh, that's nice.
That's really bad.
Have you taken all the grandchildren? Some of them? Who's had them so far?
Oh, well, that's interesting that you asked because when we pick the kids up from the airport, the first stop before we even get home is Idris.
Really?
Yes, indeed.
Oh, that's sweet.
Now, daughter-in-law Callie doesn't understand the attraction, but she's from the South.
So she can't help herself. She just doesn't.
She's just like, okay, we'll go. But the grandkids, they know EG's.
Oh, that's sweet. I may have told you. Go ahead.
Well, and Taylor, my younger one, that's Chandler, my older one, but Taylor, my younger one, he came in with his daughter, and that's the first thing he did too.
Oh, how great.
And I know a lot of people will understand this. We went to Costco to pick up a television, and Taylor said, I have to have a slice of pizza.
He doesn't have a Costco where he is now, probably, does he?
Amsterdam does not have Costco's, and I'm pretty sure they don't have pizza like that either.
Oh. Well, pizza or hot dogs, depending on who you're with. If it's Lynn's.
That's right. The hot dogs are really good too. Yes.
Yeah.
But we sat down with that big old massive television that we just ordered. I just bought, and he said, "I've got to have pizza." So we sat down at those tables, and the television was on the big cart, and we just kept our eye on it.
You know what? That's how you knew you belonged at Costco. That's what real Costco shoppers do.
That's right. Yeah, that was funny.
But
that's Taylor who's a foodie for sure, and he is a trained chef and likes to cook. But man, he had to have his Costco pizza.
Isn't that sweet?
Yeah.
He is both ends of food, is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, not a food snob at all. But just likes to cook, and I love it when he comes because he just takes over the kitchen and makes me happy.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, you've been in that location a year?
Bought it in October 23, but I didn't move in until July because I needed to sell the other house. So July of 24.
And then they did work until sometime in 25.
Yes.
And now you're just living like you meant to live.
Yeah, I still have one more bathroom to remodel, but that's okay. And landscaping in the front backyard. That's okay.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
I thought
It's
I'd seen
okay.
everything.
No,
There's more to see.
There's more to see. Yep. Yeah,
Okay,
it's really
so
nice.
it's a beautiful home. So that's your neighborhood. And then where else in Tucson matters?
Well, you just stumped me on that one.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, put a pin in it and tell me something else, and
And
then we'll go back to it.
I would just have to say everything.
Hmm.
That's a hard one because it's, when you've grown up here, everything is good.
I don't think everybody I know would say that. I think that speaks as much to you as to Tucson.
Okay, the view of the mountains.
Oh. Any favorite range or
Oh,
any range?
Catalina for sure. I grew
Okay.
up with our picture window of our house facing the Catalinas, and that was my view for many, many years. And then I didn't realize how important those mountains were to me till I moved and I didn't have that view anymore. So this house had to have a view. So I've got a backyard view of the mountains.
Perfect. Of the
Yeah.
Catalinas.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah, they're just grounding for me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
One other thing, you know Brother Lindsay, and ever since Sedona could barely talk, when we got driving from Phoenix, as soon as she could see the Catalinas, she'd say, "Uncle Yin's Mountains."
Oh, the mountains are
Because
so important.
they are. They are.
I would have to also say I love monsoons.
Oh, yes.
Whenever they come in, it just reminds me of every other time they've come in, and it goes back to, my childhood and sitting out on the front porch as they're rolling in with my dad, sitting in the front porch chair. There's only one chair, with his cigarette in his hand. You could see the light in the cigarette light in the dark.
Oh,
So interesting memory. Yeah.
it is.
Yeah, he loved to just sit out there and watch the rain.
We didn't have a front porch. There was no place to sit at our house. You could stand on the lawn in the backyard, but interesting. That's sweet. I'm glad you have that of him.
Yeah. Both memories of my mom and my dad. The ones that are seared in my brain, they both have cigarettes in their hands.
That was the 60s or 70s, depending.
Yes, and I thought for the longest time until I realized, no, Teresa, that is not true, that you could not be an adult unless you smoked a cigarette and drank coffee.
Oh.
And then I got to be 18. I said, you don't have to do that.
But you did develop a relationship with coffee.
I did. And I started a relationship with coffee when I started working at Coco's.
And which Cocos?
The first one that was in Tucson, it was across from Park Place. It's not a Coco's now. I was on the opening crew, and that meant getting to work at about 6 a.m.
Okay.
And that was early, and I really didn't drink coffee before then, but I remember one of the line cooks looked at me when I was walking in. He goes, "Teresa, you really need this coffee here. Drink this." And I did, and I said, this is pretty good. I understand now why people drink coffee. And it was just black, and I've drank it black forever. I've never put cream or sugar in my coffee.
Good for you. We used to, in college, go to the Cocos by Fort Lowell and Campbell.
Mm-hmm.
That was, I guess, close to Winter Haven. That was kind of the home court.
Yeah, and there was
Cocos.
the steakhouse was next to it too.
Yeah, what was that? Not Yard House. Now that I've said that, we won't be able to think of the name.
Yeah,
That's okay.
I'll think of it in a minute. Yeah, that was the company was called Far West Services, and
Okay.
I was they built the one on Crescent Park Place, and I was on the original crew, and was trained and learned that Far West Services does a time and motion study on their restaurants, so that every movement you make as a server, as a cook, or whatever you're doing is perfectly timed out to be efficient.
Wow.
And that was quite a difference because I'd also worked at Red Lobster. I was a server through college pretty much. And Red Lobster did not do that. And I could see the difference.
And I bet you've wished every place you've ever worked since then would do that. You know what? We're going to take a break and be right back.
Okay.
Among Passport Treasures 250 is Phippen Museum, just north of Prescott, and named for cowboy artist George Phippen. It has all things Western and Arizona in arts: rancher and cowboy halls of fame, equine art, crafts, lots of paintings, sketches, and bronze sculptures. Add art and wine evenings teaching you to paint, rotating exhibits, cowboy Christmas, and talks by Western photographers and authors like Hellraiser, Trailblazers. So Coco's, and you're an alum of that, and you've worked a lot of places since then, but right now let's be away from work.
Please.
When not at work, what places beckon to you? Let's leave the old Pueblo for a moment.
Well, I've worked in Phoenix for so many years, and there are some places in Phoenix that I do like. Not very many, but Phoenix is an interesting place. It's got a lot of things that are attractive about it, but what I really like, I like the Herd Museum. I like
the restaurant, that beautiful patio restaurant.
Just the whole property is just so gorgeous. And their exhibitions and the art that they have there, it's just, the whole experience to me is breathtaking. I became a member of the Phoenix Museum of Art, which I just love, and I really like that they're open Wednesdays until 9.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and I would leave work on a Wednesday and go straight to the museum and just bask in the art there. And what's fun about the Phoenix Museum of Art is that they're one of the few museums that have a fashion archive.
They do.
And they have twice a year fashion exhibits, and I patiently wait for them.
Or not so patiently, depending.
It's like, wow, because you just never know what they're going to do. And I really had a great time when they brought in the Barbie exhibit when the Barbie movie came out.
How do you even do a Barbie? Was it little dolls or was it people?
Oh, it was so many little dolls and the costumes and cars and everything was pink. And I didn't get the memo that you were supposed to wear pink when you went to the exhibit. So I just walk in after work, like I do. And I said, wow, I didn't get the memo. I kind of stood out. But they just have the most interesting exhibits, and their permanent collection is stunning, and it just makes me happy. So,
oh, that's so nice. I don't remember the name of my favorite painting there, but it's a wall size, and it's flowers growing up from the ground. Huge piece. I'm going to guess 15 by 15 or something. Massive. I'll have to look it up and tell you, because it's what that did was, I was with my brother-in-law, loved it, stared at it, bought a postcard, and realized real art is more than just three-dimensional. It's actually different than a picture of real art. And I hadn't realized till that moment that a picture doesn't capture art. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, totally, completely. Yes. Was it part of an exhibit or permanent
No,
collection?
it was permanent.
Oh, that means that it's probably maybe on display.
I could look it up and tell you. But okay, so Phoenix Art Museum, a win. I think growing up in some place that isn't the Valley creates kind of a Mason-Dixon sense, and crossing it takes some doing, at least for a while. Do you feel like that?
I think I did. I do feel that I am of Phoenix now because I've lived there for so long. Well, I don't know if lived there is the right word, worked there and had an apartment. But I do feel more comfortable about Phoenix. I learned more about it. The area near the Arizona State University is really an interesting place. I think Tempe is interesting.
Some people call Tempe the Tucson of the Valley.
Yeah, and that may be why it's attractive to me. I feel very comfortable there.
I bet it is.
I lived mostly in Central Phoenix. Well, I guess they call it Midtown there. and was a ride on the streetcar line, so that was interesting too.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, so I could take advantage of that. And Phoenix is a great walking city too. I did a lot of walking. I never rode. I did ride my bike at some point, but I quit doing that. So yeah,
Okay.
and then it's got kind of some mountain views, depending on where you are.
Kind of, yeah. Kind of is a perfect term. Okay, well, let's get out into the wild, open country of Arizona. Tell me other places you like to go.
So I really like Flagstaff, and what's interesting is that I did not go to Flagstaff until I was an adult. And I find that so hard to believe, but when I rewound everything, like when was the first time I was in Flagstaff? It was when, believe it or not, my kids were they both went to the music camp in the summer.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, so my kids were 10, 12.
Probably.
Yeah,
You'd never been to
I had
Flag.
never been to Flagstaff. Yeah.
That is amazing, isn't it?
And I even have a degree from NAU.
Well, at least you went there before you got the degree, right? By the time you got the degree, you'd been to Flagstaff.
I had been to Flagstaff. Yeah, because I went to NAU, but to the Tucson campus. Yeah, and so I really like Flagstaff, and what a great place to be in the summer. I've not been there in the winter.
It's great then, too. I just came back this week. A whole different kind of beautiful, but just as beautiful.
It's welcoming, and it's got mountains, it's got the peaks, it's got that great train that runs through it, and the restaurant that's right there, and the visitor center, which is so cool, and just such a great walkable downtown. Yeah, so I really like Flagstaff.
Yeah. Well, and I love hearing all that and thinking, I went with you to most of those places.
That's right, yes.
Before the river. We did a lot of those.
Yeah, and then Little America, and that great restaurant we went to for breakfast.
Yes, Toasted
Owl.
Right,
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
Yeah, Flagstaff has great restaurants.
Yes, I think so too.
And it's so walkable.
Very walkable. Yes.
So you can see I judge cities on how walkable they are.
My sister always felt like once she went to the library in a town, she knew something about it. And I've always felt like once I walked, I know something about it.
That's true, and I will then go back to Phoenix, and I love the library that's right downtown.
Oh, the Burton Bar?
Burton Bar, yeah.
Yeah.
The architecture on that building is spectacular. Yeah, I agree. Libraries are special places. Yeah.
That's nice. Mm-hmm. Okay, so Flagstaff.
But I should have gone to Prescott first.
Oh, because why is that? Because we're going past it?
Yeah, I drove past it. I didn't mean to. So
well, we can double back.
Let's double back to Prescott.
Okay.
And a couple memories. I was there a lot for my ADOT work. I always enjoyed that. But that was usually going to the ADOT district office, and maybe we'd go out for lunch. That's a different experience than going to is it the Hassayampa that's there?
Yeah.
And staying there and experiencing it as a tourist, and that wonderful downtown area, all the restaurants, and then hiking up the mountain.
Thumb Butte,
yeah. I mean, just those are great memories.
Oh.
And just, yeah, special place.
Yeah, I totally agree. Have you ever been to anything at the Elks Opera across from Hassayampa?
That does not sound familiar.
Okay. Good. You have something to look forward to. Someday you can go stay at the Hassayampa and go to a concert across the street at the Elks Opera House. Tom and I went once to see Red Molly, and it was so fun to just run back to our room to use the restroom during the break. We didn't have to wait in line.
How smart is that?
I thought, from now on, I always want to stay across from a venue when I go to something, because then I'll never have to worry about standing in line in a restroom. But yeah, Prescott is. Have you been to Murphy's in Prescott?
I was just thinking of, I've done a lot of the restaurants in that square.
But this is off
I don't
the
remember
square.
names.
It's a block north, but it doesn't matter.
I can't remember restaurant names. So, but I do remember just a lot of really good food.
That would be Prescott. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, another great place. And kind of like you're not going to Flagstaff till you boys were in camp. I didn't see Prescott till I was 32. And I don't know why. I feel like, oh, I must have been going to Prescott forever, like Flagstaff. And Larry and I were at the NAU opening of the Roll Activity Center. And he said, I think we should go home through Ash Fork and you can see Prescott and their historic courthouse square. And I thought, okay. And then I didn't know, until I got there, I didn't know what I'd been missing. But pretty old for a first time in Prescott.
You could say you didn't know what you were missing about a lot of things in Arizona.
Tell me some more.
Yeah, so I'll tell you the one that just surprises me, because I used to think of Yuma as the place where you stop and get gas and eat lunch before you go to San Diego.
I gotta confess, I still do. But
Yeah. And for Ada, I've been there many times for that work. But when I think of Yuma, I think of driving to, ultimately to San Diego, but stopping there and having a picnic lunch at the Gateway Park, which is under the I-8 bridge there.
yeah.
And it's adjacent to, I looked up the name of the bridge, the historic Ocean to Ocean Bridge
Oh,
over the Colorado River. I didn't know that was the name of that bridge.
I didn't either.
It's just so gorgeous, and you don't think you're in Yuma.
So it must not have been July, or you would have known you were in Yuma.
It was in July, because that's usually when we were driving through. But it's on the water, tree-lined, and there's ramadas.
And it's
Yeah.
cool enough to
And
be
it's-
happy in Yuma?
Yes.
That is saying something.
Yeah, no, that's why I thought, let's not go to a restaurant anymore. Let's picnic at this
How
park.
marvelous. I'm going to ask you in a second if you do that in other places, but hold on, we're going to break. We'll be right back.
Okay.
Another 25 treasure on the passport is the Wigwam Hotel in Holbrook on Route 66, which is also celebrating an important anniversary, the centennial. Wigwam itself is 75, and each teepee-shaped concrete and steel room has original hickory furniture with vintage cars outside. Chester E. Lewis built it, and the family will still host you in this National Register of Historic Places on your visit. So, I want to hear about the rest of that. You picnicked in Yuma, and then you took the picnic habit with you beyond Yuma.
Yes. So Dean and I did 2 cross-country trips, one in 21, one in 22, in the summer, driving in 21 we went to the Catskills, and in 22 we went to St. Simon Island in Georgia, and these are cross-country trips.
They are cross country.
And what we would do is that we started out having lunch break at diners, and I thought, you know what, that's okay, but it's, I'm pretty picky on my food, so if we do picnic, and let's find a park in some small town on the road, let's just go explore. So he would typically be driving at that time where we're trying to find a place to park. So I'd pull my phone up and look, what's the nearest city? And I would go to that city's website, look under parks, find a park, and I'd say, this one looks good, and I'd put the mapping up, and we would stop there and have our picnic lunch. And we saw some amazing things at these parks
Wow.
that we would never would have seen if we just had stopped at diners.
So true.
I that was just so much fun.
That is a beautiful idea. And it's so beautiful because it's so simple and it's free, and you're not having to sign up months in advance and pay a bunch of money. It's just always right there inviting, and all you have to do is say yes. And that's really brilliant.
And
You have the memories together.
Oh yeah, and then just be open to, you never know what you're gonna get.
Did you ever get a bad park?
I wouldn't say we got a bad park, but I do remember in Florida, the first day leaving St. Simon Island, and we went to this park, and it was, I'll just say, in a dodgy neighborhood.
Oh.
And I looked at Dean and he goes, "That's okay. We're okay." So we just I'll just say a lot of people in the park playing basketball and just a lot of people in the park. And that was different than normal. Usually we'd go to a park, there was hardly anybody there. There was just a lot of people. I think that's what was so different about it. But we just, we're just two old couple getting our picnic lunch out. So we, typically they would just leave us alone. But I'm sure they looked at us like, that's weird.
What are they doing in our park?
Exactly. Oh. And it was more of a neighborhood park rather than what we'd usually find as a rural park with a lake.
Oh, nice.
So this was really, it was different. So, all good experiences. I never felt that we weren't welcome, but I'm sure they were looking at us like,
Well, you didn't come back, so they thought, I guess we scared them.
And one of the most important things that I was looking for was a ramada that was covered with picnic tables and a bathroom.
Oh, yes. Oh, mercy, yes.
And sometimes we would, after we were done with the picnic, we'd put everything back in the car and then we'd take a walk.
Oh,
so that was always really nice too. Yeah,
that's beautiful.
Because you're sitting down and driving, and then you sit down to eat. I was like, let's go move.
Good idea.
Yeah. Good memories.
There are 1,000 more good memories. What else am I going to wish I had asked you later if I don't hear it right now?
We also went to Madera Canyon.
Oh.
I think this was an anniversary trip, a wedding anniversary trip. And we stayed at the Chuparosa Inn. And I looked it up, it's still there. And I think they had 4 rooms. And
really?
And they were full kitchens. So we were,
oh, wow.
We, got to bring some food, which we like to do. We prefer to, do our own cooking. And the weather was gorgeous. Our wedding anniversary is in February. And of course, February in southern Arizona is just stunning. So we did some hiking and just hung around. And I remember they had all these hummingbird feeders.
Yes.
Around, and the squirrels running up and down the hummingbird feeders. I thought that was hysterical.
Oh,
it was
I'm so glad you did that.
Yeah, it was just lovely. One of those just wonderful memories. Yeah. And then, of course,
even though things end, you always still have them.
Oh, yeah. Just great memories. I would go back down there again. That was a lot of fun. But then there's always the canyon, Lisa. Grand Canyon.
Well, there is the canyon.
Yeah.
I'll always be honored that I got to be there on your first river trip. That's pretty special.
Well, I think it was a lot of people's first river trip, even though it was your fourth.
You're right, it was, yeah. But you and I did it together. I mean,
yeah, wow.
I was going to say we roomed, but we tented. Well, you didn't. You slept out, but our luggage tented, even if you slept out. But yes, was matchless and unlike anything else. And oh my gosh.
Well, really changed my way of thinking in that I came home and I just decided I wanted to retire again.
Again,
because in 2019, Dean and I were in La Jolla and we were having such a great time. I came home from that vacation and said, I don't want to work anymore. So that was my first retirement, and then it happened again. So I think that these epic trips that you just have a great time just shift your thinking. So I just didn't want to work anymore.
Maybe you just realize I like who I am when I'm not at work. I mean, you've always been an amazing worker and leader, and I mean, you do really, 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 really good things working. But maybe it's interesting to find out, oh, this is who I am when I'm not at work, and it's great too.
Yeah, it's hard to explain, but I need to. I'm now. I do whatever makes me happy.
Brilliant. Perfect.
And when I ask myself what would make me happy after getting home from that trip, I said, what would make me happy is to not work anymore. And I don't say it, I don't want to say it in a negative way. I just wanted to be home. And Tucson's home. So that's what
Tucson
I
is a
did.
great home.
Yeah, and I just missed being in Tucson because I was working in Phoenix
Yeah.
and driving up and back and up and back, and that I'll be honest, that gets old.
Well, yeah, you're not the only person who doesn't love that stretch of I-10.
Well, you're gonna love it as soon as we put, puts all 3 lanes in all the way.
That's what's happening?
Yeah, in that Gila River Bridge section, it'll take a few years, but it'll all be done.
Lovely.
Yep.
And it's so much better than it was. I mean, I remember when 3 lanes was one little section near Eloy. And it just seems like every time I drive it, it's better.
Yeah, it will happen. And right now they're working on the Gila River Bridge, the actual bridge part. And the section to the south, I went to that partnering, so it's probably starting really soon.
Excellent. But it won't be
Yeah.
done by the time this airs. It's not that
Oh,
soon.
God. Oh, no.
Soon is a relative term, I
No,
guess, when you're talking about building bridges.
Yeah, we think in years.
Atomic time.
Yeah. But it'll get done, and that's really good news.
It is very good news. Absolutely, yeah. Well, thank you for coming and for sharing your Arizona.
Yeah, Arizona is one of those places where, and I've talked to folks who've grown up here, and you don't know any different, but when you leave, you really understand what you have. Dean and I were looking at upon retirement of getting another property that we could go to in the summer, and I had this list of things that this city, wherever it was going to be, needed to have, and I realized that everything I was listing, Tucson had already. So I thought, why don't I just go away for a few months instead of buying a property and just spend my time in Tucson? So when it gets hot, that was the plan, and that's why we did those road trips, was just to get out of town.
Brilliant. Well, I'm glad you always come back.
Oh yeah, no, I am here. I am not going anywhere.
Excellent. Thank you.
You are welcome, and I am so happy that you are doing this podcast and talking about Arizona and talking to people who love Arizona. So.
Excellent.
Because I love listening to your podcast.
Well, I love listening to you on my podcast, so we're all winners.
Oh, good.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.
We'd really like to hear from you about anything this show led you to think about. Write to us at celebratingaz.com. The wizard behind making a conversation into a podcast is Tom Heidinger. The music comes from Daniel Blatney, and I'm Dana Cooper.